Sports fans of all ages, it's our pleasure to present to you the newest name in Delaware sports and sports around the world, who has had absolutely no success in the real world, so he's dedicated his life to talking sports. He's known to be prickly and very opinionated. It's time to get in the huddle with your host, Coach Muddle.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. Apologies for Monday night. Obviously Facebook was down, so we had, decided to just go ahead and get in tonight. But Nevada Nick, I think he triple books himself, so I have no idea what the deal is with that. Hopefully he'll join in at some point. I don't know. We got football games tonight. We have some terrible Yankees to talk about. Unreal. I really is unreal with how that game played out. And Garrett Cole, I'm sorry. You know what? I'm expecting a refund. Okay, I want a refund for that piss poor performance. Maybe New York's just too big a city for you, because a lot of guys try and just fail, and you're just one of them. Okay, we paid you $300 million plus $1 million. Where's my refund? Because that's piss poor. And then to come out and say, "Oh, well, 28 other teams went home earlier." You know what? F you. Okay? Why don't you stand up when you pee, get some balls, and pitch in a big situation like we pay you to do? Because that's unacceptable to me and every other Yankee fan out there. Unacceptable. But and let's face it, the Yankees were the bats were quiet. I mean, and it was bad. But you pay a guy over $300 million, and he cannot last two innings. I mean, he didn't get out of the what he pitched 2 1/3, maybe two innings. I don't even know. It's horrible. And I honestly, I think the play of the game, I don't know, play of the game, probably too much but still, I mean, you hold Judge second and third with one out. Gallo hitting, getting a total different pitches than he is. Listen, don't, you know what? Fenway Park is Fenway Park, the Green Monster. They just put it up for the game. I mean, look, you didn't hit the ball over. It is what it is. Run the ball out. Maybe those singles are doubles. Don't Nelson, don't give me it was the got robbed. No, man. I mean, the ballpark is the ballpark, man. You gotta play a little bit better. I mean, it's win or go home. And I mean, what are you doing walking that dude? You were up 2-0 on the guy, and you wind up walking him, and it winds up, the next guy, you give up a home run, you give him a meatball. I mean, a professional hitter, you're throwing it at 80 miles an hour down the middle of the plate. I mean, any guy's going to hit that out. Absolutely unacceptable performance, but things got to change. They got to go out and get some left-handed hitting, and I'm done with the Sanchez experiment. I'm sorry. I'm done. I don't care. Let's move on. Dakiyoshi, and I apologize for botching the name. But look, he's the guy. let's just move on with our day, okay? And let's get some left-handed bats in the lineup. And I know Gallo's got one more year. Great, in the outfield. But I think that hurts Stanton because I think Stanton hit the ball a lot better when he started playing every day. I mean, to be honest with you. So that's something to keep your eye on. And what happened? I think Luke Voigt is done. And I think DJ is your, they put him at first base. Torres is your second baseman. And, I think you got to go out and get a left-handed bat in the center field, a real legit center fielder, because Aaron Hicks is really, not the guy. I mean, it's not when. Not if, it's when he gets hurt. He hasn't played a full season since he's been with the Yankees, and we paid the guy. Another thing you got to look at, Cashman. Cashman, I think your time's up. I think you're done. We've had enough of this. We haven't done anything to this team in 4 years. I mean, we got rid of Joe Girardi because he got rid of he didn't like Sanchez. Him and Sanchez didn't get along. Well, guess what? You backed the wrong horse because it's Sanchez who's the fucking problem, not Girardi. Obviously, game away from the World Series, and you can him. Unacceptable in my book. I just can't accept that. So let's get off the crappy ass Yankees, okay? And I got to just switch gears a little bit. I got to share a little story. The professor. People have followed the show. Big part of the show back in the early days. Still. Since he's a new dad, it's he's not here as much. But going up to Philly to that wrestling event last night, I tell him, gotta stop at Phil and Jim's, Coach's favorite place. Tell him Coach sent you. So he goes, and I don't know whoever was behind the counter, and I love it. He goes in, Coach sent me, throws Stiz's name around, throws Nevada Nick's name around. Guy's like, yeah, so what do you want? And that's great. All right, I'm interrupting the story because let me bring in Nevada Nick. Scheduling conflict? Did you?
No, my driver took a right when he was supposed to take a left. You know how it goes. But Coach, sorry, I was listening, so I was tuned into what you were saying. As I was trying to get logged in here, I apologize, Coach. That I thought the same thing on that Stanton home run, but I was surprised to find out that would only have been out in 11 of 33 parks because they did that on the feet, which kind of surprised me. I figured, man, if that was everywhere else, that'd have been a home run. That the wall was the reason, but no, it wasn't. And like you said, not running an out was a disgrace. But no, just good. But continue what you were saying because. To add to what you said, but you were right, 100%. I agree. Right.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm telling the cheesesteak story of last night with the professor. I had to bring it up. I just thought it was really funny, and I wanted to share with everybody. So he goes into Phil and Jim's, and whoever's behind the counter, he drops your name, he drops my name, drops Stiz's name, and the guy goes, "Yeah, okay, what do you want?" I love it. No sold him. Completely no sold him.
Because he probably didn't know.
but it was great. So I love it. But then on top of that, they gave him the wrong sandwich.
Oh, man.
Some guy named Mike who put tomatoes on his cheesesteak. Oh. And it's funny when I texted you guys in the group text talking to you about it. Stiz said the same thing. Who puts tomatoes on their cheesesteak?
That's what I said. I don't know if it was Stiz too.
No, maybe Stiz, both of you guys. We all said the same thing. Who puts tomatoes on their cheesesteak? I don't know. Whoever Mike was last night at Phil and Jim's got. I don't know what you're doing ordering tomatoes on your cheesesteak, but the professor got your sandwich. And by the way, I had everybody at school today calling him Mike. I had everybody calling him Mike today. So I just wanted to share that story with everyone, and now we can get back to bitching and moaning about the damn Yankees.
Yeah,
and we'll get into the football. We got a big game tonight. We got but I tell you what, last night Dodgers game was great. I mean, that was what playoff. Yeah.
Yeah. In regards to the Dodgers, they got basically two bad pitches for the Cardinals, and they gave up home runs. I thought the Cardinals manager, and you know how it is, Coach. You get to those games, every decision is scrutinized huge.
Mm-hmm.
But Gallegos had pitched a great eighth. Let him go back into the ninth. He brings in the lefty. He gets the first two guys out, walks a guy, and then he brings in Reyes. And this is my thinking, Coach. Reyes was a guy you had to take out of your closer role, which means he couldn't handle the pressure of it. And you bring him in the ninth inning
in the biggest game of the season.
One batter he faces, boom, 2-run homer, game, set, match.
Right.
I don't understand it. And look, Cardinals, great down the stretch. But, it's a shame because they were in that game, obviously.
Right.
The Dodgers were on the brink. I really wanted to see what happened if it went to 10 innings because the Dodgers were out of relievers. And, they were going to have Urias coming out. But still, you know how it is, Coach. Some starters can't throw out of the bullpen. It's just not normal to them. So, yeah, a little surprised when it happened in regard.
Right, but what I didn't realize now, I didn't realize this because, and I don't know, I didn't check the lineup, but the Yankees for the that playoff game, they didn't put their starting pitchers on the roster for that game because you change the roster each series,
right? Because they figured you need more bats on the to have the pitch hit.
But what a situation you get to where you're out of pitchers in a game, and that game goes into extra innings.
Right, and that's what happened to the Dodgers. They had like 6 or 7 pitchers and 10 or whatever it was, but a bunch of pitchers. You're right, and only a certain amount of pitchers. And I think they were thinking too, Scherzer will go 6 or 7. Well, here Scherzer gets pulled out in the 5th. Doesn't give the Look, he still battled, only gave up a run, but, didn't give that long, outing that they thought he would. So, but they kind of got lucky that, Chris Taylor hits that 2-run homer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So enough baseball. Let's get into some serious talk with football now.
Right.
And I want to bring this up before I get into the Giants and the Eagles, but let me tell you, Hunter Renfrow, almost saved the game single-handedly for the Raiders on that special teams. I think that was the play of the game. Because that game
lost, but
they still lost. But that could have been that
would have took the game. The Raiders had a shot again, and Coach, just the heady play, and that shows you honestly, those kind of players are just invaluable to your team.
Right.
That just play smart football because just special team coaches, everything, it's unbelievable. Just awareness, understanding the game situation. And what happened was he noticed right away, wait, there's nobody on that guy. So he starts inching up.
Right.
And starts going up, and then they did it, and hell, he made a hell of a tackle.
Right, he did it. It winds up being an incomplete pass because, unbelievable. What a hell of a play. To see that and understand it and be able to do that is like you said, invaluable for a team.
Yeah, no, and look, it's gonna be interesting, man. The AFC West is good. The Chargers are good. The Raiders, are good. They got to figure out the slow starts a little bit, but it's really going to be interesting. And look, and Vegas, which kind of surprises me, the Chiefs are still the favorite because, I know that offense is great, but I think the Chiefs have holes on defense. Right. And Coach, I'm just a believer. I don't think you can win a Super Bowl without without a decent defense.
Right.
It doesn't have to be top 5, but you need somewhat of a defense to be able to win in the NFL.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, Billy, don't give any credit to the special teams coach talking about the special team. Give it to the other guy. It's okay. I appreciate it. It's all right. I appreciate you, buddy.
Now, Coach, one thing I know, if it's okay if I bring up, that I want to talk about, and we talked about it off the air too, is the whole Urban Meyer situation.
Yes.
And to me, he's a dead man walking, in my opinion. Just, how do you survive? First of all, you win on, or excuse me, you lose, you're 0-4. You're just getting in the league. And it's, we've talked about this, guys. They talked about the other day, Belichick works 7:30 in the morning, 11:30 at night. Gruden's always been known as that guy who's sleeping basically at the thing. Same thing with Andy Reid. And yet Urban Meyer's arrogant enough. He thinks he's Steve Spurrier, that he can go golf on the golf course and he can, even though they're 0-4, he can stay back, not go home with the team, and then, hang out for the weekend in Ohio and get lap dances not lap dances, but, girls just. And
I didn't realize this. Urban Meyer owned that restaurant. That's his restaurant or whatever. But no. But listen, here's the thing. And even coaching at a small college like I was at, they told you where to go and where not to go.
Right.
But and I told you this when we talked off the air about it. I think that Urban Meyer is in way over his head.
Yeah, he is.
And didn't want to pull a Nick Saban or Bobby Petrino. And just jump ship. And I think this is his jump. This is his way out.
I don't think he, honestly, not to be, I don't think, because why you're going to embarrass your wife just because you want to get out?
Look, if it is, I'm calling up and my wife's on board. She knows because let's face it, they're not. Wait a second,
I don't think he's doing it that much though, because it's just bad. Because you know what? Look, this guy's got a track record too. One, you tell your guys don't be out after 11 o'clock. Don't put yourself in these situations, and then here you are putting yourself in that situation.
Right.
When you're off, especially too, because they played on a Thursday night game, so they gave him a couple days off. And look, this guy's got a terrible track record too, Coach. You know how it is. Let's talk about it. Okay, Aaron Hernandez. I have multiple cover-ups for him while he was in Florida. A guy
Cam Newton as well. Cam Newton.
Getting convicted of murdering somebody and then, possibly murdered somebody else in Boston. And there's also a thought that he shot somebody while he was in Florida and paralyzed the guy. Okay? Then he had the assistant coach who was beating his wife.
Right. But you forgot the Cam Newton. They tried to cover up the whole computer thing at Florida.
Okay, that too. But still, you had the coach who beat his wife and all that. And that was another stain on Urban Meyer's record, in my opinion. Then his strength and conditioning coach he tries to bring into the Jaguars had made racial remarks on social media before and was a known racist. This is a track record with this guy. And to me, it's like, he's going to gain the trust and all. He's a dead man walking. He's going to lose his job. And that's in regards, you know what? I didn't like his hires, bringing Charlie Strong as your defensive coordinator to the NFL. When you want to leave, to me, and Coach, from college to the NFL, you need to put strong NFL assistants around you, my opinion.
Right. You needed to put some NFL guys around you in that understand the ropes, and he didn't put any guys in there, So Stiz, I think he's already there. I think he's already got a landing spot set up. Yeah, absolutely.
I think he's gonna. We'll see if USC doesn't have any interviews or make any moves in a while. I think you're going to see it. He'll get let go. And look, once again, this guy who, remember Florida, he was burned out. He was done. He was never returning. And then 2 years later, he's in Ohio State. And then, he left Ohio State and said he was definitely done to go to the Jaguars. And now I think he's going to back into another place. And you know what? Look, Urban's a great college coach. I think he'll have that USC program turned around real quick. He's done it everywhere else he's gone.
Yes, absolutely. I agree 100%. 100%.
So, I mean, and it's the perfect match for him. I mean, he'll have them as a top 5 program within 2 to 3 years.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I think it'll take a little bit longer just because you have 2 winning football teams in town now. Before, when Pete Carroll was there, remember they were the top dog because they were winning and you had some crappy teams. So now it may take a little bit, but it'll be right up there. I think it'll be a great football weekend in LA soon with USC on Saturday and then the Rams and Chargers on Sunday.
You got Chip Kelly, across the street too at UCLA. It's probably,
absolutely
cool,
and to rekindle their rivalry, when they coached against each other would be really great. So we'll see. And I'll tell you what, if I'm a coach, I'm licking my chops to take that Jaguar. I mean, you got your quarterback in place. I mean, that you've got some talent there. There's some talent in Jacksonville, and it's just a matter of putting that together and getting it going. And I think why wouldn't you guys be lining up for that job?
Well, one name that got floated. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but look, that book that just came out, supposedly Robert Kraft said, I'm here. He was at a conference with, a bunch of tech people and millionaires and intelligent people. And he said, I got to go from being around all these smart people and, intelligent minds to go to be around my asshole head coach, talking about Bill Belichick. So, maybe does Bill Belichick say, hey, I'm going to go down to Jacksonville where he has a house down in Florida and – maybe take over a Jaguar. Now he's 70, so I think that's tough. But, we'll see. I think Bill would take over the Giants before the Jaguars, though.
I was just going to say, I think the front office job for the Giants is more attractive to him. And by the way, Bill is not that far north in Florida. He's further south in Florida. So, Hey, Billy, stop. Chip's my man. Don't be bad-mouthing Chip. Man, I thought he was good. He rolled the dice and lost. Okay, and I don't fault the guy. Come on, now you got to agree. He gave away. He put all those pieces together to make a run at Mariota, to get Mariota, and he failed. He gets Mariota. I think he's still in Philadelphia, and they're a contender. I'm sorry.
No,
I
disagree.
Now wait a second.
His system wasn't conducive to the NFL.
Well, wait a second. I think he would have. He didn't adjust enough. I'll give you that. But I think he would if he had gotten his pieces that he tried to put in place, he would have had a longer sustainable career there.
The problem was multiple things. One, his style is not conducive to the NFL. You can't be last in time of possession every year. Can't happen. It can't happen. And that was him. They faded in the second half every year because the defense was on the field too much. So, I mean, it's just and not just that, too. He thought he could be like he was in college and tell these guys what they needed to eat, what time to go to bed. I just think, it didn't work. And he did really strip the Eagles of a lot of good players. And two, I think eventually, early it worked. I think the NFL caught up to him. These are, you have intelligent defensive minds too.
Mm-hmm.
They caught up to him, and Chip didn't adjust. And it's kind of weird because he's never. Now I know he just went to UCLA, but I'm waiting. I thought Chip would go back to college and right away would have the success he had. Now, let's give it time. Let's see what happens in the next 2 years at UCLA. But
but he's starting to turn. He's building blocks there. He's getting, because that this year, but one loss. I mean, give it. But he's built. He went from, he took over a team that was completely decimated and had to start from scratch. And a lot of guys, transferred out and whatnot. Yeah. But he's getting things going.
He wanted to run he wanted to run the flying V formation too. The Philadelphia Ducks. Chip, but you know what? The way I want if Chip didn't screw us up, we wouldn't have got Doug and won a Super Bowl. So
there you go.
you know,
Absolutely. There you go.
We can thank Chip for that.
And while we're on the Eagles, go ahead. Let's hear your take on Sunday. Since we missed Monday because of Facebook. Going down.
Right? Yeah. If you want to call it that.
Yeah. Right.
Scrubbing the DES or whatever it is. Look. The defense wasn't good, obviously, but I mean, whose defenses look good against the Chiefs? And then the credit to Stiz said this, and he's right. You're not going to win by trading field goals with touchdowns with the Chiefs. Right. Once again, look, the Eagles had success on offense. They were in the game with the Chiefs. If Devontae Smith doesn't, he got pushed out of bounds too, and reestablished. So I thought it was going to be a touchdown. That they would have been one score, back into a 1-score game, a 5-point game against the Chiefs. But once again, he's not running the football, and that's how you beat Mahomes. There's two things. You pressure him, obviously, on defense and put pressure on him, force him into mistakes. And then on offense, you long drives, run the ball, so you limit his possessions. I mean, it's not that hard of a. You want to limit his.
You're right, and it's funny because I say that all the time because there's some teams down here at the high school level, and they get you out of your game, and that's what Kansas City does. They get you out of your game, and you wind up chasing points all night long, right? Because you just didn't stick to your game plan,
right?
And I feel like that Nick is just getting really outclassed and outcoached week in and week out, and he's another guy on the hot seat, dead man walking.
And Bill, you're probably right. I think the Chiefs are going to struggle this year against any balanced teams. You saw it with the Browns. I mean, the Browns were putting a shellacking on them, and obviously the punter drops that ball, and the game kind of changed. But look. Spags is a good coach, man. So Absolutely. What this Chiefs defense looks like right now could be very different in November and December. And they don't need the Chiefs to be top 5. If you put them in the top 15 because of the explosiveness of that offense, they will be okay. But, it's going to be interesting. I'll tell you, I can't wait for Sunday's game because you're going to get a good grasp to see where the Chiefs are at against the Bills. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, but I think they're going to struggle. I mean, you look, the Eagles moved the ball up and down the field on them. Like I said, they just, were trading field goals for touchdowns. And, Coach, like you said, I think Sirianni, I think he's going to be one and done. And I really question, too. I like Jalen Hurts. I think he's a leader. And I hope he can improve. I want him to be the guy. I just don't know about with the inaccuracy and the completion percentage. But it's still a way.
Yeah, but it's fictitious because they're not balanced. They're not running the ball enough.
Right, they're not.
So obviously you're throwing the ball 50 times a game. Your your percentage is going to be way off, man.
No, Stiz. You know how I feel about it. You're 110% right, and that's after he touched the ball, I think 3 times the week before. Like he's, in my opinion, their best offensive weapon by far, and. Basically, he's in his 3rd or 4th year, and for a guy of his talent, has been so underutilized. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. I mean, he on other teams, I can put him on the Chiefs or team like the Bills, whoever. I mean, I think this. I mean, he's a top 10 running back. I mean, he can catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's very talented. They just don't use him. And I don't get it.
Yeah, I think he's another one. I just think it's,
if he doesn't, it's going to be because they don't want to change offenses with Justin Fields. If Justin Fields shows some progress this year and starts feeling comfortable, and let's say the Bears end up 7-9 or no, excuse me, there's 17 games. Let's say they're 8-9 or better. I think he's got a shot. Because they're going to say we don't want to change offensive coordinators and right away on the kid. And but Nagy I think's in trouble too.
Yeah, I agree 100% with that. We said that before the season, Nagy's on the hot seat.
Now, you want to talk about tonight's game?
Let's can I get to the Giants first, and then we'll get into the night game.
What do you want to talk about the Giants?
Well, I'm sorry that Daniel Jones was the number 2 statistical quarterback of the week, but he's fool's gold.
Yeah.
Okay, he's fool's gold, and please prove me wrong. I'm begging you, but you're fool's gold. You're too inconsistent. All of a sudden now, and all the Giant pages that I belong to, all of a sudden want to anoint him and Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman's general manager of the year now because all of a sudden this guy's panned out. What do you mean panned out? He didn't do anything. He beat a okay Saints team. I mean that Saints team wasn't anything special. And I was surprised though the lack of 12th man. When I was really thinking, remember the last hurricane when they came, it was deafening in that place, and you felt it sitting in your living room, and I didn't see that. Yeah, let's put 2 games together.
If you beat the Cowboys this weekend, then maybe you talk a little.
Maybe now I'll talk. I'll start changing my tune. But for right now, you're fool's gold.
But
okay, I'm sorry.
And Coach, you're right. You can't have. The best thing you can have, and you know it too, Coach, in NFL with a quarterback, you just want this consistency.
Right.
And that's Daniel Jones.
Whoa, time out. Billy, when? I please go back to when he was drafted and tell me when he was the savior. When have I ever sung that man's praise?
Now, the only time, and I'll say it, I think me and Coach early on Coach did not like to pick, and I know that. Neither did I. And I remember early on in his career, his first year, he did show some signs of wow. And a lot of people around the league were saying, wow, looks like Daniel Jones is going to be a surprise. And then it flipped. And Coach hasn't really been so, I mean, I've been doing a show here with him for 3 years almost. Look, so did we. And to me,
but I thought he was a top in the, I thought the Giants could have traded up into the first round and still got him. I think I'm more mad at where you picked him at number 6 than anything else. Is you wasted a pick when there was a D lineman there that a pass rusher that would have been was more of a need.
Right. No, I mean I can't disagree with you. I mean, and look, there's a bunch of things. You know how I say it too, and it's just the truth. The whole obviously drafting of Kadarius Toney this year was a huge eyesore too. I mean, how can that happen? How do you draft him when you have so many needs, especially on the offensive line
and the defensive line,
and defensive
both
line.
lines, yeah.
So, but still, either line. But too, Coach, you take Barkley number 2 overall, and then you see some of the guys that got drafted after him that could be on your team: Denzel Ward, Bradley Chubb, who's one of the great defensive ends, in football. Quentin Nelson, the great guard. Boy, wouldn't you love him in New York?
Right.
Josh Allen gets drafted.
Josh Allen was Daniel Jones's draft. That was the year. But Josh Allen had fallen. He was supposed to be the number 1.
I'm looking at it right now. Josh Allen was the Saquon year.
Yeah. Oh, was it Saquon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad.
No, the year that they drafted Danny Dimes, it wasn't a good quarterback year. That was the Dwayne Haskins.
Right, Dwayne Haskins.
There wasn't really anybody there that polished. Yeah. But still, look, you could have had one of those guys. Minkah Fitzpatrick was there. Derwin James, Jair Alexander. They had a lot of guys with a lot of talent, and you ended up with Saquon Barkley. And it's just, I'm a true believer in, running backs just aren't that valuable at number 2. And you know what? Look at Kyle Pitts now. Now, look, it's early. Maybe he gets better, but a tight end's just not valuable enough to take it the number 4 position in the draft, in my opinion. Unless if he comes in and he's Travis Kelce, okay, because that's game changing. But yeah, I mean, you need to be a stud if you're going to get picked that high.
Oh, absolutely, and I just think because look, remember the biggest knock on Nick Chubb was his injuries at Georgia. Oh, he's not going to be durable in the NFL. Well, look who's been more durable than Saquon Barkley in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, who has more yards? I'm just saying, and it, we're starting to talk about calling New York Cleveland East, and I'm going to have to owe Odell Beckham Jr. an apology. I mean, I am. I'm going to have to, the next time I have a solo show, I'll have to go into and apologize to Odell Beckham Jr. We don't want to see your chest there.
I was checking the score of the game. Sorry. You want to see, hey, man, it takes a lot to work, like it is hard. I bet Houston. What can I say?
Well, yeah.
Now, Coach, we want to talk about the game tonight.
Yeah, let's get into it.
A little preview on the playoffs and baseball.
Certainly.
All right,
yeah,
perfect.
all right, let's go.
All right, but you know what? The one thing that's good, finally, a good Thursday night game. Except for obviously opening Thursday with the Cowboys and Buccaneers.
Right.
Jags and Bengals didn't exactly get me going, in regards to being a football fan. But I'll tell you.
I mean, the Giants and Washington turned out to be a good game.
Right.
But again, these division games I hate on Thursday. And
it's not fair. A team like the Seahawks, and the Rams. The Rams, you got to go play the Cardinals, who were 3-0, and now you go on a short week to Seattle and have to play them. I mean, it's bullshit. It really is. I mean, these are big games. I mean, the Rams could go from being 3-0 and the class of the league to 3-2 within 10 days. So but no, I like the Rams tonight. Let me say that, Coach. Take the Rams. I just think I like the Seahawks, but the defense, really concerns me. I don't like the balance of the team. So I like the Rams tonight. I like Stafford. I think the Rams get back on track. It's just been weird. The Seahawks, like I said, their defense has been, inconsistent. And even that offense has been very inconsistent with Russ. I know you do have a new offensive coordinator, but I think the Rams get back on track tonight and get a win and get to 4-1, obviously, while I believe this would drop the Seahawks to 2-3. So, but big game for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely big game. And, and unfortunately it's on a Thursday night, but, so we'll see.
Now, Coach, who do you got in the World Series?
Not that I care who's in the World Series,
right?
But I think the Giants win it all. I think the Giants are the team because it's going to be the Rays or Boston. I think in the World Series for the AL, and I don't, and I can't root for either one of those, and so I'm just going to go with the Giants. I think the Giants. I think the Dodgers blew their load in that win last night, and they're done. I think it's the Giants to take.
I agree. I think it's going to be the Rays in the AL. I really do. Get ready for this kid Baz, who's pitching for he's their number one prospect, and he's only had like 4 or 5 starts. I think he's going to look good in his postseason. Remember I said that. I think it's Shane Baz is his name, but just get ready for that name. I like the Rays to make it. Everybody's all over the Dodgers, but, you lose Max Muncy. Scherzer's kind of been struggling. Looks like he might be tiring a little bit. Obviously, you lose Kershaw. He's going to be out now. And they still have a rotation, even with they losing all these guys they've lost.
Right.
But I don't think the Dodgers are going to win it this year. I just have a feeling. I like the Giants as well. I got Giants beating the Rays. If the Giants don't win, watch out for the Atlanta Braves. Because when you have Max Fried and a guy like Charlie Morton, who's been great in the playoffs when he pitches, you got a 1-2 punch like that and a lineup like they have, and they've been playing good. Only thing that worries me about the Braves is the bullpen. But I'm going to go Giants beating the Rays.
Well, the baseball Giants, Billy, were from New York originally. So, there you go.
There you go, Billy. Come on now. Come on now, Billy.
But yeah. So we'll see how we'll keep our eye on. I don't have any alternate teams to root for in the baseball playoffs.
You don't have 16 alternate teams, so you can at least get some team that wins?
No, I don't. I don't have any alternate teams. I will say this though. We do. A kid here locally got promoted to the A's AAA farm system. He'll probably make it to the bigs. So I will have to say I'll have an alternate team. When they're not playing New York. So. But why do I have to root for Philly, Billy? I mean, that's bad.
Coach, as we said to me and Stiz are going to be gone Sunday, so we're looking at it'll be on Sunday morning, but I think we're going to do 11 a.m. Sunday, or Saturday.
Saturday, we're going to do Saturday,
and then it'll also still be on normal time Sunday, 10 a.m.
Yeah, we're going to shoot it on. So it won't be live on Sunday, is what we're getting at. So
yeah, but it'll still go out to the people though Saturday at 11 a.m.
Well, it can. I mean, it can. I don't.
Yeah,
know.
I think okay. Yeah, I think. That's what I thought happens. I don't know.
No, because I think you can tape it. There's a tape it for later, like save it for later.
I thought you put your comments in and stuff.
So no, you could just do that. So
Yeah, Ben Simmons is selling his thing only $3.1 million. I'm afraid.
Why Nevada Nick? They carry around money for Nevada Nick, man. That's carry around money.
That's a studio apartment to Nevada Nick. Come on, Stans, you know better.
So look, it's still preseason there, Billy. See, preseason. So, and I think I put Philadelphia above New Jersey if we're talking that, because Kyrie's not getting, he's causing too many problems up there.
Yeah, well, Philly, they got to figure out the Simmons situation. I like what they're doing. I would wait too. Screw him. And you try to get the best package. I think they're waiting and hoping maybe the Wizards start really bad and Bradley Beal becomes available, or Portland starts bad and Lillard becomes available. But if not, supposedly, Portland has offered, I think they said it was CJ McCollum, Robert Covington, and a first-round pick. I would take that for Simmons. I'm ready to move on for him. Now, too, he's saying that they weren't supportive of his, that they should understand that, what was going on with him mentally. And he's just, see you later, dude. Get out of here. And then blaming Embiid, too.
Right.
Come on, man.
Agree, suck it up, man.
Embiid should be pissed because he's done nothing but show up and improve and work on what his negativities were. And Ben, all he does is cry and point the finger at everybody else. See you later, baby.
Yep. Absolutely.
I know this. This will drive him to the airport. So
there you go, man. There you go.
Yeah, I saw that. Stiz, Indiana is the big talk. They were talking about LeVert. Look, I just want to get somebody close. I'm over it. Screw him. He's never gonna. He's always gonna. Look, he's a great defender, but he's never gonna account to something offensively because he doesn't want to work on his jump shot.
And just the way the Knicks are built, I think Ben would fit there just because their defense. Ben plays good defense, and we're just so used to not having someone to shoot the basketball anyway.
Do you think he would fit in New York?
Well, he couldn't handle New York. Wait a second. There's a difference. There's a difference. On paper, he fits on the team. Can he handle the bright lights of New York and the scrutiny? No way. He cannot. It won't happen. I'm just saying.
I could run the Boston Marathon. That doesn't mean I could actually do it. Come on.
Actually, you can. They had those video. You can get an avatar and make it run the. You can do the avatar thing.
Oh, okay, well, that's what I'll do. I'll do the avatar thing.
Oh man! All right. Well. Anyway, basketball, we're still in preseason, Billy, so pump the brakes a little bit. We got a couple of weeks before basketball starts. A lot of things can happen, because we also got hockey starting up. So, 18-minute mile. That's on a good day, Stiz. I was more like a 64-minute mile is where I was thinking.
Yeah, that's like the old football, man. We used to have the conditioning test. You had a mile and a half in 12 minutes. And if you didn't do it, you were in the breakfast club where you need to go before and run before thing. I remember everybody's lining up, and the coach goes, calls my name out and says, I like my coffee with 1 cream and 2 sugars, because he knew I wasn't running a mile and a half in 12 minutes.
Well, I tell you what, I just sat down and what are you doing? I go, why bother? I already know I'm not making it. I'm already planning on showing up in the morning. So why do I have to do it? Why do I have to suffer through it? But so anyway, but yeah, it's it's good stuff. So we got baseball, Rays in Boston tonight, and we got football. So
right now you got the White Sox. They are losing 6-0.
Is it 6-0? I know they were losing 3-0.
Like they're going to get that 1-game lead up on the White Sox, which obviously is critical in a 5-game series.
Absolutely. Game 1 is very important in a 5-game series. So
we'll be ready on Sunday for everybody.
We'll be ready for it. So we appreciate everyone checking us out. Remember, share it with your friends, like the page, subscribe to YouTube. We really appreciate you guys helping us out. And thanks. Come back. We'll see you guys on Sunday. Be safe. Enjoy some football.
Real quick, Billy. No. And that's one thing Ben or Embiid brought up. They got rid of Jimmy because Ben didn't want to play with him. And Embiid said that. And Embiid said he thought that was a mistake, and it was. And that's one of the big mistakes. Right. We should have traded Ben and kept Jimmy Butler, because then we'd have somebody else who could take a damn shot in the 4th quarter. Sorry, Coach, but I wanted to answer that before we left.
All right, good stuff. Yep. All right, Billy. Be good, man. We'll see you guys. Sunday. Thanks.